Branding isn't just a logo, it's a mindset. A holistic approach shaping identities, experiences, and leadership at every level. Welcome to BrandsTalk with your host Brigitte Barkowski, where excellence meets purpose. We share insights and lessons to inspire and elevate. Let's dive in. Discover your soul's blueprint and reconnect with your true light through Adele Bernard's guidance. As a transition mentor based in Calgary, she helps individuals worldwide align their energy, release stagnation, and rediscover their authentic selves. By embracing astrology, ancient wisdom, and intuitive insights, you'll reconnect with your heart, align with your authentic path, and embody the life you were meant to live. Ready to walk yourself home? I'm happy to welcome Adele Bernard to BrandsTalk. Welcome, Adele.
Thank you for having me. It's great to be here.
I'm so happy to have you. There is tons of questions to ask. I'm so excited about our conversation. Adele, you often say you're helping people walk themselves home. How do you define that journey, and what does it have to do with personal alignment, respectively, since this show is about brains, with the alignment of our true identity?
So, walking you home came to me with a little bit of guidance from another person who does intuitive work, and it's all about coming home to your heart, because your heart is your authentic self. And no matter if you believe in past lives, whatever, it's that place where there's only truth. The head can feed us many, many lies. The head is where your conditioning lies, your belief systems, the untruths that you've been told that are just not you. And it's all about bringing you home to your heart, to find those inner gifts that you might have forgotten that you had or that you could do. And it's also about stepping up to shine your light in this new age of Aquarius. Because we've never been here as humans or as a society before. We are in a new world, and I'm being guided to start the program of walking you home, and more importantly, staying primarily with the men. They're told they have to be the providers, the strong people. They can't cry. They can't show emotion. And all we're doing as women and other men is telling them that they're not who they are. And so this is where all of this has come from, because especially is in branding, in what you do, they're trying to get a brand for their company, but they are the representation of their company. If they don't know who they are, the brand will never work.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's kind of a really good segue into the next question, because as you say, we think of branding, and that in terms of strategy, in terms of logos, in terms of messaging, but your approach invites a deeper perspective. And now, can you explain a little bit in more detail, how does energetic alignment, I think that's what you talk about, influence how a brand is received? Can you give us some clue, some more information about that?
I look at it as they're one and the same. So each individual has a unique blueprint or brand of who they are, right? There's no one before that's ever been who we are today, and there will be no one else after us. There's only the unique you who is showing up today in this present time, present moment. And that's why a lot of people are saying, well, be present in the presence. Because that's all we are. We can't be anyone else, right? When you think about branding and you're trying to get, like, say you're trying to get me to see, but this is your brand. This is what you're saying. And I'm like, doesn't resonate. because it's coming from my head. Oh, that color looks pretty, or
Mm,
that design is nice, right? And so
mhm.
you think about that and you're going, that doesn't work because they haven't
Yeah,
dropped into their heart to say, I'm really more of a pink person than a blue person,
but
right?
why?
And the why
Mhm.
is because you were born at this unique time to be the pink person.
Yeah.
People can
And
tell
that's,
you
that's
blue
why,
or orange, it's not going to work.
yeah. And that's why I tell my client it's so important to attach meaning to a color. What does it really mean to you?
Hmm.
How do you see yourself in orange? Why is that your color?
Hmm.
And often they don't even know. You need to go so much more deeper. You need to first go into introspection. You have to have a look inside why you are doing what you are doing. Who are you? What is your authentic self? And then we can express that in a color that relates and that resonates and that creates your authenticity and then also your identity that you're showing out. And I love the way of how you have explained it from your perspective.
Well,
Yeah.
and it's really funny because I was talking to a fellow podcaster and she put out the prompt of, if you could pick colors that represent you, what would they be? And when I
Mm-hmm.
saw this post, I was right in the middle of like rebranding and like trying to figure out what my colors are. And well, I said, well, I'm brown, green, and blue. I didn't say any. I just said brown, green, and blue. And her comment back was, well, of course you are. We all feel the hug from you no matter what you're posting. We all feel how calm you are. And I'm like, oh, that's funny because I was trying to be
Yeah.
anything but those colors. But when people
Mm-hmm.
see
Mm-hmm.
them, they're like, of course that's you. And I'm like, fascinating,
Yeah.
right? Trying to
Absolutely.
yeah, when we're trying to rebrand and we're going, but I don't want to be those
Mm.
colors. I want to be orange and red. And no, I'm earthy.
Yeah. I'm earthy. Absolutely. I'm more the brown person. I mean, brown as a color is earthy. It shows warmth and dependability. That stands
Hmm.
for the brownish color that you're using or the taupe
Yeah.
color. Yeah, so let's come back and talk a little bit about this deep transition because right now in this world, there's a lot of things happening geopolitically and everything. So we feel like we are going through a time of deep transition, individually, culturally, but also spiritually. All right. What are the most significant shifts that you are seeing, you're witnessing right now in how people approach their purpose and identity today? Is there any shift going on? And what is it? Can you somehow explain this to us who are having a more difficult time understanding spirituality, you know?
Um, so to take that really huge topic and
Mm.
bring it down
In simple
to
terms.
simple terms is everyone on the earth right now has asked for this experience. And in simpler terms, not only have we asked for it, it is also the the awakening of self. And so when I think
Mhm.
about the awakening of self, it has nothing to do with the outside world. The awakening self is coming in to your heart, right? It is being careful of what you're reading, what you're watching,
Mm.
who do you have in your
Mm.
circle of influence that isn't on the same trajectory, same vibration. This is meaning nothing of it's a bad show, it's a bad book, it's a bad person. It's nothing like that. It is how do we elevate ourselves to the highest vibration we can be as the world shifts from the third dimension through to the fifth dimension and beyond.
How can I understand fifth
Okay.
dimension and beyond?
So the fifth dimension, there's no duality. It is what it is.
Hmm.
Eckhart Tolle's book probably says it one of the best ways. At Con, love what arises. Eckhart Tolle's, is that so? There's that old proverb of the farmer who's like, his horse dies, but now he can't plow the fields. Is that so? All of a sudden he gets a new horse. Oh, you're so lucky you could get a new horse. Is that so? Then his son breaks his leg on the horse. Oh, that's too bad. Is that so? But then they came for the army. Oh, his son can't go. He has a broken leg. Oh, you're so lucky. Is that? It makes it takes out the judgment, the duality, the I can't think of the word, but like there's just it is what it is. It's not even yes or no, right?
Mm.
The sun comes up
Mhm,
every day. There's nothing we
mhm.
can like whether we see it or not.
It
The sun
is.
is up, even though it might be raining or snowing. The sun's up. I
Mhm, mhm,
know,
mhm,
no shadow of a doubt, that will always be true. And it's so the
mhm,
fifth dimension and beyond is speaking that truth that is you can't there's no right or wrong. It just is, right?
mhm,
And that's where people have to start realigning to the humanness of who they are. Just it's that so.
mhm. Yeah, yeah. And regarding that, when people go through such transition in their
Mhm.
professional lives, and especially when it comes to brand identity pivots, because you're changing, you're becoming a leader, you're climbing up the career ladder. What's one overlooked inner truth they should always come back to? Because we were talking about this inner truth, right? So what is
Mhm.
there? Is there something that they have to revisit? What's overlooked?
How we can know if conditioning is playing a part is when you look at people as children and they're loving and they're soft and they're caring. And then they start getting into the school years and they don't know if they fit in and kids are mean. And then they go through their adolescent years and that's just hard enough as it is. Let alone going, well, you don't fit in today, but you will fit in tomorrow. Well, it doesn't make
Mhm,
sense, right? And so all this conditioning, if you're not in the presence of who you are and you're not being supported in who you are in your heart, you will start as like this, totally connected person who loves to be in the forest, who's, like totally following their path in the arts and their dance and just want to play to you're forced to go into the box. You're forced to do academic studies that you can't do, right? And we
mhm,
see this in neurodivergent kids and adults, right? Like as adults, they're celebrated. As kids, they were ostracized. And all of a sudden, you're trying to become a full human and go and get a job, and you don't fit. You try to go to
mhm,
work every day, and they say, but you have to be in this box. And you're like, but I'm a tree. How can I sit in a desk all day if I'm a tree? And that's where we have to be very cognizant of nurturing that inner soul, that inner gift, and really
mhm,
letting the people be who they are. And with this example, one of the sayings is, "Oh, you're an artist? You're gonna be broke your whole life." No,
mhm,
that's a conditioning. That's a societal plant on who you're gonna be. One artist might not make any money, but they don't want to make any money because that's their way of releasing and being in the world. Another artist might not think they ever wanted to be an artist, right? And they're multimillionaires. And Van Gogh was a good example. He was a tormented artist. He
Mm,
couldn't be who he wanted to be. His art only he only sold one painting before he died.
yeah.
Right? So that conditioning of you're going to be starving your whole life was huge for his life, which wasn't true. And so I look at it as get in touch and be humble and be your authentic self before it's too late and everyone realizes after you're gone. Be who you were supposed to be in this
Absolutely.
life
Mm,
and shine. And if you want to be an artist, you don't have to starve. If you want to be an engineer, you don't have to be like so engineering that you forget you have an artistic side,
mm,
right? Because the
mm.
pianist is the engineer. The engineer
Yeah.
is the pianist. The fundamentals are the
Mm,
same. They just show up in totally different
yeah.
ways.
Mm, yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's very interesting and very reflective and inspiring at the same time. Thank you so much.
yeah, you're welcome.
I would like to switch gears a little bit and come back to authenticity and
Hmm.
visibility because it was also my topic, to go from invisible to visible. So, what's your perspective regarding the connection between authenticity and visibility? And why do you think do so many brilliant people still feel invisible even they have something powerful to offer? What's the problem here?
So,
You're
obviously, with this
laughing. You have an
question,
answer.
you've been in my brain this week because I've been questioning that too. So,
Hmm.
I have
Synchronicity.
been, yeah, so I have been attempting to put out this new program that I'm launching. And I keep on saying, why can't I do it? Why can't I do it? And I'm like, I don't know. But this is what my peers are saying they want. This is what my potential clients are saying, "Oh my gosh, like please bring it out. We'll sign up." And I kept on going, "Nope." Because stepping into your purpose, your bright light, you're saying to the world, you're
Hmm.
ready to be on the big stage. But that doesn't mean your head's on board to do the work. Your
Hmm.
heart's saying you're ready. Shine, right? Be your authentic self. And your head says, "Oh, this is too much work. I don't know how to do this. Who's going to come?" So it's
Hmm.
quieting down your mind to say, "But this is what we signed up for. This is our soul journey. Thank you for sharing,
Hmm.
mind. Go give it a task to do." Because you have to step up into the brilliance, even if it's scary. Because being your authentic
Hmm.
self is vulnerable. It is putting your heart and soul out there for everyone to have their judgments.
Yeah.
And it's only until we all start doing this that the judgments will fall away and we can come into a place that the Aquarian age is asking us to of community, love, kindness, the sharing of ideas rather than, well, I said that, you can't use that. Mm.
But how do we put that into action? Knowing, okay, allowing ourselves to be vulnerable, putting ourselves out there, and knowing that others gonna judge us one way or the other. How do we still take that action? And because a lot of people kind of, they reduce themselves again and say, no, I can't do it. I cannot put myself out there because they fear that others judge them in a negative way. So, how can we
Mhm.
still overcome that and walk the talk regardless? So, what is your advice here?
Because The simplest way to say it, every time somebody points their finger to judge, it's their insecurities because three fingers are
Mm,
pointing back to them.
mm,
And
mm,
that took me a long time
mm,
to understand because being an intuitive my whole life, I got a lot of pushback. How do you know that? If you can't prove it, if you can't tell me where you read it, but and I go, whatever.
mm,
And I wasn't saying crazy things. I'd be like, how about we go this way instead of that way? Why? I go, okay. So I'd leave it, right? And the person who's driving would go the way they wanted to go. And we'd sit in traffic or we'd sit in a car accident. Like, I don't know. My guides are saying, turn right. Don't go straight. And if we had turned right, we would have missed the whole traffic jam and got to where we're going on time without the stress of trying to
mm,
get through the traffic jam. And
mm,
so when people want that proof, that's great. Go find your proof. But we don't live in that kind of world. We live in the world of trusting your gut. Or everyone that jumped off the bridge, we'd all follow them jumping off the bridge. Is it the best thing for me to do to jump off the bridge into the water? Even though it's safe, it's not like it's a bad thing. Like it's a fun thing in the summer, you jump off the bridge. My body
mm,
always said, you're not a person to jump off the bridge. Okay.
mm,
I'm a person who does other things around the bridge. All good. But following that gut, like, and you talked about branding, and you
mhm,
could make this beautiful brand and everything. And they go, okay, well, that's the product you gave me. I'll take it. And then their business starts going down. They start blaming you for the brand. It's like, no, they didn't listen to their gut that it just needed a bit of tweaking. That little tweak would have went from profits going down to profits skyrocketing. That's not on you. It's on the person who's buying your product.
mm.
Like you've done the best you can
Exactly.
to this point. Does it need tweaking? Does it need
Mhm,
or let's just try it out for 3 weeks. Let's come back and revisit. But if you just say one and done, that's on the person. That's not on the
it's
product.
not
That's
on
not on the
us, not
person.
on, yeah, yeah, yeah.
And that's the difference too
But
with this program was that men are ostracized to have intuition. I said, well, flip the words. In business sense, same thing. They're listening to their gut. We're just calling it different. It's still intuition. Gut, gut
yeah, it
reflex.
is.
Gut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we should come back to also trusting our inner gut, our inner wisdom, or however you want to call that instinct. We have all the facts, but still, we should also allow ourselves more to listen to our intuition as well. So I think
Mm-hmm.
both is legit. And very
Mm-hmm.
often we end up only with a few facts, and you have to make a decision. In challenging
Mm-hmm.
times, you cannot wait for everything to have and then base your decision on. Then you have to act also based on what your inner gut is telling you.
If you need help in the inner grounding or inner being, if you can't get to the forest or you can't get to the ocean, visualize it. Just sit quietly for a
Mm,
few minutes and visualize sitting at a beach and smell the ocean coming in and
mm,
nurturing you, or sitting, in the forest and just like hearing the birds and hearing the crackle and just feel that, I don't know, that warm, misty. I always feel it's
mm,
like it's
mm.
warm, but like it's inviting, but it's like damp, right? And
Yeah,
just be
yeah.
there for a few minutes.
And along with that, I suppose goes the power of breath work, right? Especially when you are
Yes.
under pressure, you are under stress, it clouds your judgment. So I think that is also a way of de-stressing. And can you give us some idea of how to best do that, the breath work? How can we
Um,
get,
the
or how can we use breath work as a grounding tool for clarity and becoming more authentic again?
breathwork is a basic tool. Like we can go without food, we can go without water, we
Mm-hmm.
can't go without breathing. And
Mm-hmm.
there's clinical studies that show that most people are only breathing from the collarbone up. They're not even using their lungs.
Mm-hmm.
So when you get older and you've
Yeah.
had a lifetime of say 70 years, you haven't been breathing, guess what's happening? You're going to break your ribs to breathe. And so, and I've even used this in corporate, that every hour on the hour, like, or 5 minutes before the next meeting, take 3 belly breaths. So as you breathe in, the belly's going out, it expands your lungs, you breathe it in, and you let it out with force as you pull your belly back into the back of your spine. 3 of those every hour on the hour.
With
Your
force.
day will change. Well, yeah, you breathe
Why
in a
is force
really
so
big, deep
important?
breath.
Yeah.
Because when you're pushing it out, you want all the stuff that no longer belongs in your body to let go.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like the common cold, there's no such thing. The common cold is your body naturally saying, I have toxins that I no longer need. I'm going to get them out. So you say thank you every time you blow your nose, you cough, you before you get the cold. Because I'm
Mm-hmm.
blowing my nose because I have toxins that my body wants to get rid of. Thank you. And your energy will shift. Your
Mm-hmm.
body will start shifting, going, "Oh, she likes how we're protecting her.
Mm-hmm.
She likes that we're taking care of ourselves by coughing and sneezing before the cold happens. It's just thank you." And it just comes even
Mm-hmm.
back to prayer. Prayer has nothing to do with religion. Prayer over your food or your water, putting intentions into your water, is basically saying, I give thanks for every part of this existence that has made this food on this plate be harmonized for this body, not for the table, for this body. So your
Mm-hmm.
body says, "Oh, she's blessed these morsels of food coming in. Our cells can take it in and nourish ourselves." Because people that
Yeah.
aren't praying over their food, I'll show you disease.
Oh, okay.
It's in correlation, right? Because they're not giving
Okay.
thanks to all the people, all the land, all the everything that has brought all this food together so it can nurture
Mm.
your cells to keep you fruitful, spread more.
And this is already one lesson. So if you could leave our listeners with another soulful practice to help them reconnect with their essence and lead from that specific place, what
Mhm.
would it be and why?
So many things are coming.
Okay, so one after
Is
the other. Maybe you can give like three lessons.
oh no, I'm trying to
Three.
say, try to. The biggest thing I want the listeners to hear is the time is now to become present,
Mhm.
to turn inward, to let go of the outward experience of what you think may be happening. What it doesn't matter. That's
Mm.
all an illusion. Everything outside of us is an illusion. All we have is our inner knowing. We can work on the inner gifts to shine on the world, the more the world will expand for you individually and all those around you. So when they
Mm.
say you are a complete drop of the ocean needs your complete drop to be your authentic self at all times.
Wow, beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Adele, we are at the end of our show, or almost. And before we wrap up, I would love to end with a fun rapid fire session. I throw out a
Okay.
few terms and you share the first thought or phrase that comes to mind. Are you ready to dive in?
Sure.
No? Okay. When it comes to transition, what comes up?
Ever changing.
Ever changing. Okay. Home,
Heart.
authenticity.
I want to say me, but that sounds ego. But yeah, that's the
Doesn't
first
matter.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Okay. Life,
Abundant.
mindset,
Open.
brands.
Unique.
Unique. Adele, where can listeners find you? And is there anything specific you have for our audience, or is there anything else that you want to communicate?
Well, if you want to get a hold of me, the best way is through LinkedIn.
Okay. Good.
LinkedIn,
Okay.
Facebook.
LinkedIn. Wonderful. Adele, thank you so much for being my guest today in BrandsTalk. It was a pleasure having you here and sharing your wisdom.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure being with you.
Thank you so much. If you enjoyed this episode, hit follow on your favorite app, share it with your network, and leave a quick review. Stay tuned for the next episode and keep shining.